Good afternoon. We are March 12th at 4:30 in the afternoon, and we are looking at a view of our sun. And you can see we have lots of very bright regions, lots of filaments roping way up off the sun. And the big news is we have two new sunspots that have developed into beta class just overnight. And the bigger news is we're beginning to see what's coming around the limb. We can begin to see those roping filaments in the bright regions that aren't quite into view yet. Those should be into view in the next 2 days, to where we can see the sunspot groupings, what they look like. Should be earth facing in the next 5 and able to come into contact with us. Now, this means you are on warning. These look very capable of giving us this big storm we're looking for. These are the sunspots that gave us the big storms a couple of days ago. So this is your best chance, I think, of getting a really monster storm out of those sunspots. Now, a tip. While we watch this rotate around and we're watching how the filaments are snapping and moving and popping, I want to give you a tip. One of my favorite YouTubers, they use snap bracelets on their steering wheel. And on each snap bracelet is a chore that they have to do to break down camp before they move. We're going to use that idea, but we're going to use either snap bracelets or those big office clips. And you're going to write on those big office clips what goes in your camera bag: batteries, my trigger, my lenses, extra batteries, whatever you know you need. And you're going to clip those on your camera bag handle. So when you go to leave, you're going to check, is that there? Okay, I'm going to take that off my camera bag handle. Yep, that's there. I'm going to take it off my camera bag handle. As you pack, you take it off. If you go to pick up your camera bag and you still have things on your handle, then it's a good warning that you've forgotten something. And if we get in the habit of doing things like this, we won't have an incident where you get 7 hours from home and realize you forgot your favorite camera lens, or you forgot your battery, or you forgot a card. You will have what you need when you need it, where you need it. So and it's kind of the same way when you're running a checklist getting out of your car. You want to do the same things the same way every time you get out of the car. So I'm going to get my camera out while I'm in the car. I'm going to check my focus and make sure I'm on infinity. And some people like to tape their lens so it doesn't jigger out of focus when they're moving things around. Some people don't. Some people know right where their lens should be. So you check your focus, you check your settings while you are in your car, and so that none of the lights will bother anybody else. Because hopefully you're back from where anybody could be bothered by the light within your car. You don't have to turn on a flashlight to set your flight settings in the car. You don't have to turn on the internal lights. You can do that by just lighting up your LCD screen on your camera and knowing where your buttons are. This way, no lights bothering anybody. You set your focus, you set that. Now I'm going to get out my tripod. I'm going to get everything set out while I'm right by my car. I'm going to put my extra batteries in my car. Everything's right there. Then I'm going to double check my focus, take a shot, blow it up, magnify it, make sure my stars are tack sharp while I'm at my car. Then I'm going to walk out when everything's set. Then I walk out to my location. So everything I need to do that might require me to turn on a flashlight is done before I walk out where I'm with other people. because if we get a big storm, it's going to be busy. And please, 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 if you are with other people, do not use a red light. Other people cannot get red out of their pictures, and when you turn on a red light, you color everything red, and you ruin everybody's picture. So my advice is, if you're walking to somewhere, as long as you're back away from other people, use your red light to walk with. But then once you get close enough to where that red light might reflect on people's pictures, use a small pen light that you can get at the dollar store that has a very dim beam, just enough that you can see the ground in front of you to walk. And it has a very narrow beam, so it's not spreading into other people's pictures. So get a narrow dollar store pen light so you can see to walk, so you can see your camera without bleeding your light into other people's pictures. Because it's going to get very busy, and you may find yourself in a situation that you're standing on a beach with 50 other people. And if 50 people are snapping on their lights every minute, and all of them are red, then you end up with red water and red land, and you don't get anything you can use. But if you are conscious and you know your buttons and you know how to use your LCD screen without a flashlight, then you're friendly and you're not going to bother anybody else's pictures. If you have to use a flashlight and you're using a small pen light, then that beam isn't going to spread to where it's going to bother anybody else's picture, and you're friendly to everybody else. Because there's nothing worse than driving 7 hours trying to get a picture and ending up in a location where there's so many people and every shot you take is ruined. So be conscious of this. Think about it. Think of ways you can be friendly out there in the public, because it's going to be very busy if we get a very big show. So now is the time to sit with your camera and learn your buttons by feel. Learn exactly how to touch your camera without looking at it and know which buttons do what things. So you don't have to look. You can know. Put your hands on your camera and know right where to touch what buttons to do what things. And how to turn on your LCD light in the back of the camera so you know exactly how to set your settings without having to turn on a flashlight. Okay, that's my tip for all the newbies and everybody out there. Let's practice the next, however many days till we get a good show. Let's get our cameras out, practice while we're watching TV, practice knowing where your buttons are and how to adjust them without light, because we want to be good team members. Okay, so we've got this, we've looked at this, we know there's something good coming. There has been some flaring, and over here is our 99, our sunspot 99, and it has been kicking out a steady stream of C-class flares. We have had, I'm going to bring this in here a little bit. We had one big M-class flare back, March 10th. Other than that, we've had a few M-class flares, mostly C-class flares, I would say. We've had some long duration C-class flares, which indicates there may have been CMEs released with this. Most of them are coming out of 99. So most of them are going to be down and away. So taking a look at our sunspots, we have 36 and 37, or 07 and 06 that developed overnight. We still do not see the two regions here that are developing just around the limb, but we can see the looping filaments and the bright spots. We know they're there. We know they're coming. It's going to take another couple of days before they're actually visible to us. 99 is right here. It's finally gone around the edge of the limb. It really isn't going to do much for us anymore. It is down to beta gamma. It is losing steam. 06 and 07 have developed to beta class, and they should start kicking it, and I would look for those once they get center disk to start picking up some energy. Now, looking at our forecast, we did get a 3 overnight for a very brief hour or so. We aren't expected to get much through the 13th or 14th unless we get a large flare aimed at us. And a flare will pick things up if it's bright enough. If it's a long duration flare, it will pick up unexpectedly and give us a peak unexpectedly. Remember, a flare takes 8 minutes to reach Earth because it's light. It moves at the speed of light. Where a CME is plasma, it takes much longer to reach us, but it's a much longer show. Okay, so we are not got much out here planned. We look to have a coronal hole starting here. We still have this huge filament here that is, I really think it will let go. You can still see these bright roping filaments. There's one here, and possibly one up here. Everything is kind of quieted down. We're at between 350 and 400 kilometers per second. The phi angle is holding steady. It's not flipping, so we're not taking a load right now. And the density is just in the toilet. Our Westnell is, we have very little plasma coming in, not even up to maybe not even to a 10. So the plasma, we do have a small wave of plasma coming in 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. The winds at the same time we're getting the plasma aren't going to be much, but then the winds are going to take off, and we're going to get winds on the back side of this. Is this going to be correct? Nah, we'll see. You're going to have to watch this phi angle. Remember, when it starts going up and down, up and down, up and down in a broken pattern, it means you need to look at the magnometer down here and see if it's taking a load. If it's taking a load, you want to wait for this spot. You'll know that if it's here, an hour later, it's going to jump, okay? Because this will go broken, 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 and then an hour later, it will settle into a pattern and give you a reading and a KP number that's elevated. Because the satellite that's out in front of us is an hour ahead. So when it starts taking a load and gives us that flipping motion, we have about an hour to get in location. And about an hour before what's there actually hits Earth. So, looking to head to our 10-day forecast. We have partly cloudy skies tonight. Wednesday, we're going to start clouding up. By Thursday morning and Thursday night, we're going to be into rain. It will then be partly cloudy Friday and Friday night before the next system hits us. And we do have a system moving in that is going to rain and then turning into snow showers, which it looks like Michigan, thankfully, and in the northern tier of states is going to be briefer. Then we have a couple days of clouds, mostly cloudy. going into partly cloudy skies. And then we have predicted a big snow rain event that is setting up. Oh, goody. That went down. Okay, let me see if I can find a weather map. Okay. Not the greatest map, but we'll work with it. Not really what I wanted. Hang on. All right, let's just do this. And we're going to put it at, I'm going to put it on sky cover. And I'm going to set it to be, okay. I'm going to hit it at sky cover at 8 p.m. tonight. Remember, the gray areas are clouds. The blue area is clear. So we have clear skies in Michigan. Minnesota, you're going to cloud up. Wisconsin is going to be clear. Wednesday night, it is looking like cloud cover again is going to be, Minnesota is going to be cloudy. Wisconsin and Michigan is going to be clear. Well, oh. Actually, let's go back and look at that again because it's not looking like. Okay. Northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin, or Minnesota is going to be clear on Wednesday night. Most of Wisconsin and Minnesota is going to be clouded or cloudy, and parts of lower Michigan will be cloudy on Wednesday. And then Thursday night, everybody is going to be cloudy. Friday night is looking better for lower Minnesota, Wisconsin, and starting into Michigan by 8 p.m. And then by, midnight or so, it's going to be well into Michigan, and most of Michigan will be clear Friday night. Saturday is going to be hit and miss. It's going to be pockets of clouds and muck, unfortunately. And then Sunday night, it's going to be mostly cloudy for everybody with some isolated pockets of clear skies. And by midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see more of those clear skies moving in on Sunday night. So our worst night will be Saturday night, but we should see some clearing into Sunday morning. Midnight should be about our best time Sunday morning by the Sunday night. 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday will be about the best viewing time if we have auroras on Sunday. So this is what we're looking at coming in. Now we do have a jet stream dip, and our jet stream's doing a weird dip. It's coming down over the Rockies, dipping down into Texas and coming back up. And it's going to cause some very deadly weather coming down south through Texas, some of the plains areas. You can see here we've got this dotted green area. This is a watch area where they predict is going to have some very severe weather, possible tornadoes, possible severe thunderstorms, And as this progresses, this area is going to get larger, covering all the way from Chicago all the way down into Texas. And it will proceed or progress through the eastern lower states. Mountain states, you're going to get a lot of snow, rain mix. Been hearing that there's possible avalanche risks in the lower Rockies. So we want to be prepared. If you're in the Rocky Mountains, you want to be prepared and paying attention to the areas you're in for avalanche risks. If you're down south, you want to be paying attention to the weather risks. And I believe it's Thursday into Friday and Saturday night, you're going to want to be paying attention if you're in this Plains region for possible severe thunderstorms. Aside from that, that weather pattern will move forward. We're going to have another big dose of warm weather move through. And on the back side of that, we're going to have a big dip of cold weather, and that's going to bring through another big snowstorm risk in a second wave. That, I think, is going to be our last hurrah. I think that's going to be our biggest shot at our last hurrah of winter, and hopefully we can wave goodbye to Old Man Winter, and it will be the last snow we get. Like I said in one of my earlier forecasts, we've got crocuses coming up in some people's gardens. I got some trees with buds on them. Maple syrup's been running for at least 2 weeks. In some areas, we have all the willows are red up here in Traverse City. So we have all the signs that spring is just around the corner within, just a couple weeks here. So your next challenge is to be watching the first good run of warm weather where we hit 60. You need to start watching your creek banks and your ponds. I want to see turtle pictures. Who gets the first turtle pictures? Once the turtles come up out of the mud, we know we won't get any more snow. So get out there and watch for turtles. All right, everybody have a nice day.